Okay, good afternoon, everybody. It's Steady Eddie here. Right now, oh my God almighty, my guest has finally come on. Sending links by Facebook. I mean, it's either me or it's bloody Facebook or the internet. But anyway, we do have my guest here. He's in the waiting room now, okay? So let me just say, check bound. Sorry about the delay, everyone. Check bound, popcorn, happy Jubilee. Poppycorn, happy Jubilee, everyone. If you were king for the day, what's the first thing you would do first? I have Pixie Lot summoned to my chambers. If I was king, I'd have Ingrid Pitt risen from the dead. That's what I'd do. Only you'd have to be a magician to do that. Listen, hello to everybody here. I think because we're a little bit behind time, we're going to get my guest on straight away. Now it's David R. He's been on this show before. He's quite a while ago. He's currently in Thailand and he's like boots on the ground out there. So I'm pretty sure that we all want to know what's going out in Thailand. So let me introduce my guest, David R. Hello, Dave. How are you?
Hey, Ed. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm not so hot with Facebook links and all that. I don't know why it takes so long to get us act together, but it's great to see it anyway.
Hello from Pattaya.
From Pattaya, that sounds terrific. Sounds terrific. Now, let me first of all say, David, it's about 7:10 in the evening. Blend 285.
We got some nice Thai water here.
I've got a nice cold Kronenberg.
7 p.m. here.
Yeah, I'm not going to work today, so what? So I'll drink whenever I feel like it. So presumably you're planning on hitting the town tonight.
As soon as I'm done with you, Ed, I'm heading over to Walking Street.
I don't blame. Funnily enough, Walking Street. That is Walking Street is. Oh, I think I'm fair in saying it's the saddest place in Pattaya, simply because it's not really. It's got a long way to go before it's up and running again. A long way.
It's really depressing.
Yeah. Whereas the Soy Cow area and Treetown and all that, that's really, really lively, isn't it?
Soy Bukaw, LK, Treetown, you wouldn't even know COVID ever was here.
Yeah, absolutely. So what is the licensing laws right now, David? What's the
so believe it believe it or not,
Closing down.
tonight's the night, the first night that bars and whatnot are allowed to be open legally.
Legally. So does that mean beyond midnight?
No, still midnight, but June 1, they allowed all entertainment venues to open.
Yeah, all entertainment. So that's nightclubs and go-go bars and
Every, you know, but
go-go.
not, you don't have to be a restaurant anymore.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. Well, that's a progression, isn't it? It's so let me just introduce again. If anyone's just tuned in, I'm really, really pleased that you guys have all turned up today. This is David. He's been on this live stream, I think 3 times before, wearing different hats, quite literally. But he's in Pattaya now, and you've recently come from Phuket.
I was in Phuket last week. Yeah, I came back on Monday.
Really? Yeah. So I think we all want to know, how is Phuket? How's that doing these days?
So to be honest with you, I mean, unless you're a diehard Thailand person, I would not recommend going to Phuket.
Really?
It is really dead there.
Really. So my answer to that is that, you see, this is it. You never really know anything until you personally go there, because you hear such conflicting reports. And I think in terms of Phuket, those of you who watched, this channel for a while, I think my opinions on Phuket is shall I, shan't I? I think with Phuket, people are more divided than any other place. Some say it's rocking and rolling. Some say it's
basically the only thing that's going there is Bangalore Road or Walking Street, if you want to know it. Everything else is pretty much closed. Jong Silon, if your guests that know Phuket know what I'm talking about. Jong Silon, the big shopping mall, closed. Central Patong closed. Everything is closed.
That's dreadful. Is that because of the pandemic, or because it's now peaked? It's now rainy season now.
It's purely because of the pandemic. I mean, that Jong Silon is kind of a nicer shopping center and whatnot, and they kind of completely rely on tourism and whatnot. So without tourists in Phuket, I asked around, and people said that they're probably going to reopen later in the year, but they've just completely shut down the entire shopping center.
Well, this is it. You see, when I arrived in Thailand, beginning of January, a lot of people said to me, because it was a bit of a depressing time with the onion variants and everything, a lot of people said to me, Ed, what have you gone to Pattaya for? Why didn't you go to Phuket? That's the happening place in Thailand right now. But everyone's got a different opinion, Dave. Everyone, I think
no. I've been going to Phuket for over 20 years, and I've never seen it like what I saw. If everything you see on YouTube or what people are saying is completely misleading, it is dead.
Really? So you think I made a wise decision then, not going to Phuket?
Well, I mean, if you just want to hang around Bangalore Road, I mean, a lot of the stuff is creeping out and opening, but if you want to do anything else there, pretty much, here's what they're doing. They're kind of starting with Phuket Town. So Phuket Town is kind of opening, like central Phuket Town is open, but Patong, pretty much everything is closed. I mean, it's the beach and Bangalore Road, and that's all.
No, I obviously made a wise decision then. I must have made a wise decision then, because as you may know, if you watch my channel, I went to a total of 4 islands, Koh Chang, the other side, but I went to the 3 islands in the Gulf of Thailand. What were they? Koh Tao, Koh Phangan, and Koh Samui. And really, I mean, tropical islands, beautiful weather, fantastic. But you can have too many islands. Like when you visit too many temples, you get kind of templed out. And after a while, even though I love tropical islands, they all start looking the same after a while. And I thought, well, my plan was to go to Phuket, but I thought, well, I'll give it a miss. I mean, how many beaches can you walk along? How many, beach bars can you stop off? I'd seen a total of 4 islands, so I thought I'll give Phuket a miss. But after what you've just told me, Dave, Yeah, I think I made a wise
You
decision.
didn't miss anything. Actually, I was in Koh Larn yesterday. You know Koh Larn, Ed, right? The island right off Pattaya.
Do you know something? I've never actually been there.
Really, it's it's really nice because the water is very clean there, as opposed to
Yeah,
the water is really bad in Pattaya. But
yeah,
I went with somebody I met yesterday, another
yeah,
tourist from Colombia, and normally you would have a lot of Chinese tourists out there, but it was
yeah,
actually really nice going there and just having it kind of like all to Thai people and
yeah,
just a few foreigners. It was really nice.
yeah, yeah. Do you know, Dave? I think the reason that I've never been to Koh Larn is simply because it's so close to Pattaya that I can't get up of a morning. When you stay in Pattaya, I can't get up of a morning. You need to get up
Yeah, I
early to go to
mean,
Koh Larn,
you
really,
don't
don't
you don't really need to get up in the morning. I mean, I went out there, we went out there at 11 a.m. We
you?
got there at about noon and we came back on the 5 o'clock boat. So, about 5 hours, that's all day. You're tired. I mean, that's
Yeah,
enough.
yeah, yeah. I'd like to give it a. I'd like to maybe stay. If I went there, I'd like to stay there for a couple of nights.
You can
Really.
do that. Yeah, they
Yeah,
have lots of places there.
yeah. Okay. Next time. Next time. Another island that I mean, when the pandemic was raging early this year, I went to Koh Chang. A lot of people said to me, "You should have gone to Koh Samet instead," because Koh Samet, that's a beautiful place. But also, they were keeping their bars open a bit later at night in Koh Samet. But they're both well worth visiting.
Koh Samet's very nice. I haven't been there in a long time, but yeah, I used to go there. It's very nice. Yes.
Lovely island, yeah. Lovely island. Well, Koh Chang's a wonderful island. To be honest with you, Dave, I mean, like I say, you've just told me that about Phuket, and I'm a bit gobsmacked, really, because because I've heard some people raving about it, and some people are so divided. It seems to be one end of the spectrum. And I've discussed this before. Shall I, Shana? People have so many different opinions of Phuket, but really, I think personally, the best part of Thailand is between Bangkok, Pattaya, Koh Chang maybe, and Koh Samet. And I really think that, that's the best area of Thailand. I really don't really think that you need the rest of the country. I know that's a terrible thing to say, but.
Well, I kind of agree, but I've always been a fan of Phuket because I've been going there for a long time.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I have to admit, I'm kind of gobsmacked too, because Phuket was
yeah,
the first place to open,
yeah.
with all the sandboxing. I thought they would be pretty well along, but I'm actually very disappointed. I spent 5 nights there and just how deserted it actually is.
Really, really, really.
Yeah.
And how about their bars? Were they open a lot later? Or go-go bars or whatever?
No, I mean, it's pretty much Bangalore Road and that's all.
Okay. Well,
Which is the walking street.
okay. So let's just have a look who's in the chat. We've got. Sorry if I'm skipping. Yeah, Patrius one. Yeah, it is two different views. KD says he's in Patong now, and it's rocking. And some people say it's rocking. You really, really do get different opinions about Phuket, but I support Dave there. I'm kind of glad that I didn't go to Phuket. El Terrifico, he's in all the chat. Nice to hear from you, mate. Lewis C. Richard Bang. Let's see, Papa Falang, Isaac Hilton. Let's see. Will Smith. Hi, Ed. I've been beating depression for the last couple of years, and every time you go live, it brings me so much happiness. Thank you. Well, that is really great. Thank you, Will Smith, anyway, for that uplifting comment. El Terrifico, he's from Canada. David, what's your backstory? How long have you been in Thailand? Let me just say, first of all, guys, to all the guys here, you don't have to say my word for them. You just heard it from the man himself. His review about Phuket. People were saying to me all along to it, come on, I get to Phuket. And even some people, what some people were saying, Dave, go and admit it, Ed, the reason you're not going to Phuket is because it's too expensive for you. That's what they were saying. A few people made comments like that.
To tell you the truth, I stayed in one of the top places in Phuket that I would have never stayed in before, but I got such an incredible deal because of the COVID discount.
Yeah,
I stayed in the Royal Paradise, which I would have never stayed in that hotel before.
Yeah. Well, you've heard it from the man himself. He's just been to Phuket, and in his own words, it's not worth visiting right now. I think let's wait until the end of the year. So just to go back to a regular in this chat, a regular in this chat, El Terrifico. I'll get this on the screen. El Terrifico, David, what is your backstory? How long have you been in Thailand? So in your own words, explain it to everybody.
So I don't know. I answered that question on the chat. I don't know if he means how long I've been staying this time, but I've been traveling to Thailand for 23 years. On this trip, I've been here for 3 weeks so far.
3 weeks, yeah. So that's good. And overall, I mean, okay, we've said enough about Phuket right now. Pattaya, how overall have you found Pattaya? Is that really well worth visiting?
Well, to tell you the truth, I've thoroughly, even with Phuket, I have enjoyed my trip. I am glad I came. I have found fun everywhere I wanted it.
Yeah.
So I do not regret coming at all. Is it back to normal? No. Are there annoyances like putting on a mask to go in a 7-Eleven? Yes. But, I've enjoyed the trip thoroughly. So I would say that if you're a diehard Thailand fan, I mean, if you're used to it, if you know how to hang here, sure, it's worth coming. But if you're coming for the first time, I don't know.
Yeah, well, I said that, and some people, weren't too pleased at my reviews of Pattaya when I first arrived there at the beginning of the year, because it was quite dreadful. I mean, as if it wasn't bad enough, the bar closures were closing at 11 p.m. And then for one, they actually put them back to 9 p.m. bar closures.
Yeah,
I was actually in a bar with this really, really nice lady who was running this bar, and dimmed the lights, switched the music off, and had the surreptitious thing. I swear, David, that bar closures, Draconi were at 9 p.m. for that moment in time. We were in that bar for no longer than 9:40 p.m. with all the music switched off, and all of a sudden the police come out of nowhere, marched into the bar, and that poor lady got a 40,000 baht fine. I think I was so gutted for her.
Yeah, I mean, the 9 p.m. thing kind of sounds ridiculous, but everything's kind of midnight right now, so that's kind of acceptable. It's
that is
doable.
acceptable. Yeah. Yeah, it probably wouldn't be acceptable for the younger man, but when you get older, you don't really need beyond midnight, do you? That's doable. That's doable.
It's doable for me and you, Ed.
Yeah, it's doable for me, because the fact is, I mean, I've had too many nights where I've been, propping up the bar at 4 o'clock in the morning, and you regret it. So that's all to the good, really, isn't it? Yeah. So what else? So about the Soyba Cow area, how are you finding that area right now?
That area is pretty much back to normal. I mean, you wouldn't know COVID was ever there.
Yeah. It was very, very live. It was very lively when I was there. It was tons and tons of people around. To begin with, there was a little bit of a shortage of women. I'm not saying like it's a sausage fest, as some people have suggested, but there was a shortage of women around. And also, what I have noticed is that a lot of the ladies, the bar girls or whatever, a lot of them are a lot older than what you may have been used to in the past. I mean, that's the way it seemed to me.
It's not quite a sausage fest anymore. There's a lot of business there, but yeah, I mean, I kind of agree that maybe the best of the best are not there right now, but it's pretty much acceptable right now.
Yeah. I mean, really, you need those I mean, some bizarre things. I mean, when they started opening the go-go bars, it was a real joke, I thought. They opened a couple of the go-go bars in the OK Metro, but sure that they opened the doors and they were open to serve alcohol, but the girls can't dance, and you go in there for a drink, which is, I mean, what the hell's that? Why bother opening them?
That's right. They're not really go-go bars right now.
Yeah,
they're more just beer bars.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but as I was leaving, I left just the beginning of May. Some of the go-go bars were on, and I was in Bangkok, and I was in Bangkok at go-go bar Spanky's in Nana Plaza. which was very, very lively, very, very lively. But they put all these big boxes up as you enter, and that is in case the police just come burst through the doors. And you know, it's all a crazy situation, really, isn't it? Crazy.
They
situation.
basically have lookouts outside. They have people watching for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Any questions here? Anyone got any questions?
I don't know. Somebody who said I'm old and ugly.
I think you were talking about me, actually, Dave. Warren Stevens, Eddie. Warren Stevens, Eddie. I came back from Phuket 4 weeks ago. It's empty. 90% of bars are closed.
Yeah,
I am so glad that I didn't bother going to Phuket, because it would have meant getting a flight from Phuket from Koh Samui to Phuket, and that's already seen enough islands. I'm really glad now I didn't bother going there. Really glad. So let me see. Anyone else? Sean Griffith says, "Good day to the both of you." It's great. It's great coming on at this time. I really appreciate that, Dave. Anyway, it's about 1:30 in the afternoon here. We're entering the Queen's Jubilee celebration.
Yeah, I've been watching that.
Yeah. All of a sudden, I heard these guns going off somewhere. I thought, what the hell's happening? You know, I was worried for the moment. I was thinking the worst. You know, the conflict in another part of the world. But no, that's to celebrate the Queen's Jubilee. 70 years she's been on the throne.
Well, she matched the old king of Thailand before. He was 70 years too.
Really, yeah.
That's right. Well,
I mean, we I think most people love the Queen, but it's her siblings and their offspring that we're not too keen on. I think that's a bit of a problem. So what is your typical day then in Thailand right now, Dave?
Down in Pattaya, I mean, I pretty much just go down to the beach, have lunch sitting on the beach, drink some blend, and then come back, maybe have a massage.
Yeah.
And then come back to the room, chill for a bit, get dressed, get cleaned up, and then go out for the night, which is where I am right now. I'm just waiting to go out.
Yeah, so you're getting ready to go out. Okay. Well, I won't keep you too long. I'm sure you want to hit the town. Where do you have a massage, Dave? Or don't you want to tell us?
There, my condo is actually down in Jomtien, as you know.
Yeah.
So there's enough places down here.
Yeah.
So I usually just walk back from the beach, and there's enough places to have a nice massage coming back from the beach. But you've got me for another 30 minutes if you need me. But by 8 o'clock, I'm bouncing.
I don't blame you. How many more days have you got left?
I'm actually going to Bangkok on Saturday, and I'm going to spend 4 nights in Bangkok, and those are my last 4 nights in Thailand. On Wednesday, I'm heading back to the States.
Bangkok, Bangkok was my surprise package, actually. After I was actually in Thailand, Pattaya for a couple of months, apart from 9 days in Koh Chiang. I was actually in Pattaya quite a long time, really, and then went to Bangkok. And I was surprised how even that extra hour, made all the difference. An extra hour's drinking time seemed to make all the difference. And I really, traveling around, enjoyed Bangkok the most, especially around Soi 7. I had a
great time in Bangkok.
Yeah, terrific. I had a couple of nights out with that wonderful vlogger, CB Media, Chad.
Oh yeah, I know him.
Yeah. It was great fun. Really great to meet him. We went out a few times, and it was absolutely absolutely terrific. I like Bangkok. I mean, when I first seen Bangkok about 20 odd years ago, I hated it. I couldn't wait to get out of there and go to Pattaya. But it really, really, really grows on you as the years go by. Really grows on you. And now I just think it's a great city. In fact,
I've loved Bangkok since the first day I came to Thailand. I mean, I enjoy it equally as much as Pattaya. They're both different. It's a both different scene, but I enjoy both of them equally.
Really, yeah. It is a bit of information. Yogi Bear, the Queen will overtake the King of Thailand in 10 days' time. That's interesting, isn't it? Oh my God Almighty! She goes on for that. The Queen's going to outlive all of us. She's going to outlive. She may outlive Prince Charles. On the day that Prince Charles got married, 1981. One of the headlines in the newspapers was "Born to be a king, doomed to be a prince." She may outlive him because he's about 74 now.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised. He's getting up there, but I don't know. Those royals, they seem to live forever.
Yeah. I really want Prince Charles to become king. I really, really do. Because I think it will be funny. He's a bit of a comic character himself. A king who he will be known as the king who talks to plants. That's what he does. He talks to plants, and he expresses these crazy words about architecture, when he clearly doesn't have a clue about it.
Hey, the other thing is they're going to drop the mask mandate now, so you don't have to wear a mask now outdoors.
Oh, that's good. Only in Thailand. The Tiger News 1 hour ago, Phuket has just dropped a mask mandate. So
There
that's
you go. Yeah, that's what I was saying. They just dropped it.
yeah.
Not that anybody was wearing them anyway, but okay.
Yeah, I had to walk around, with a mask around my ears and just, have it under my chin, just in case, I stumble across, the police, or the old bill is what we call them in this country, and run into problems.
Pretty much have to put it on when you go into a 7-Eleven. They'll bitch you out.
I was told off for that. I think it was in Koh Phangan. I forgot, and I went into a 7-Eleven late at night, and hotter. Get back! Holding up a cross like I was Dracula.
It's like you're a vampire.
Yeah, I forgot. Robert Dixon, Ed, I'm guessing worldwide inflation and high fuel prices has had a knock-on effect on the touristy in Thailand in the low season. Well, I was discussing last night on a live stream last night about the the rise in airfares here. I mean, in low season, this is a time of the year when I wouldn't normally go to Thailand, but I would expect the airfares to be really reasonable. But some of them are almost double what they should be. Jibbin and Wreck. Ed loves the Swan Inn. And he's like, that was a smiley face there, a laughing face. I'll never live that one down, Dave. Do you know what I mean by Swan Inn? What it is, when I arrived in Bangkok, I was planning on staying at the Royal Ivory Hotel, which is an old favourite of mine down Soi 4. And when the taxi dropped me off, I stood outside. The thing is closed. It's closed. But all of a sudden, a man comes running towards me. No, hotel down here. He must have been used to people turning up at that hotel to find it's closed. So I thought, what the hell? I'm not looking around for a hotel right now. I'll go wherever he's taking me. And he took me to this hotel just a few yards away called the Swan Inn. And it was a bit of a dump. I actually thought it was comfortable, but I made a video. A lot of people were horrified. How can you stay in a dump like that? It wasn't planned. I didn't plan it. It's just, I stayed there for a couple of days and then laziness set in. And I thought, oh, to hell with it. I'll just stay here for the rest of my stay in Bangkok.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with dumps. Sometimes dumps can be fun.
Yeah. Well, I'll never live that one down. There are some people who won't stop going on about it. Let's see. London, wearing the mask outside is insane. Well, controversial.
I only wear the mask going into 7-Eleven and any shopping center, pretty much outside.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. No, I had to wear it everywhere because it was mandatory, to be. I even wore it on the beach. In fact, you got so used to it that after a while you forgot that you had it. I actually did videos where I was walking along the beach in Pattaya wearing a mask, and I mean somebody looking at another part of the world must have seen that and thought, I'm not going there. If you have to go all that way in a hot climate to wear a mask, you can forget that one anyway. Soy TV Thailand, evening boys from beautiful Singapore. Just watched my UK Queen fly past. Oh really? Okay, David Heisenberg, lookalike Russell. Eddie, where did you find your Romania flight? Before I answer that, just a couple of seconds. I'm going to grab a beer.
Got to grab some Thai water.
Okay, there you go. I've got a beer in my hand anyway. Okay, there we go. Okay, David Heisenberg, lookalike. Eddie, where did you find your Romania flights? I found them on Skyscanner. Do you know, David, I'm going to Romania?
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah, what it is, I come back here and I've been very, very lethargic and relaxing, and I wanted to catch up on things on TV and do a few things and look at YouTube videos and watch Netflix and all that. But sooner or later, I thought I'll be back on the internet, and I couldn't resist a flight. I have a return ticket from London to Romania for Bucharest, only 3.25 hour flight. A return ticket for, would you believe, £36.50. That is about 40 something US dollars return ticket. Amazing value, absolutely amazing value. And
what's the airline?
David Russell's asking, where did I find the Romania flight? Well, on the internet, I went on to Skyscanner, and it's if you actually go onto Skyscanner, London to Romania, but London to Bucharest, you'll find it quite easily. Really, it's quite easy. But I am going in the month of late June and coming back in late July. Now, if you go in July, it might be a different story, because I know someone who's going to Bulgaria, and I think he's going in that month. And it's once it hits July, I think it gets more expensive. So hopefully that answers your question anyway, David. Can't give out any more details than that, I'm afraid. But what I'm not doing, what I'm not doing, we're having a lot of problems with queues at airports in England right now. So I'm glad that I'm not taking a big 20-kilo suitcase, because I've seen a couple of reports advising you don't take any checked-in baggage, because you're waiting hours at the airport to get it back or to check it in. So I'm just taking a small little cabin bag.
How do you know your flight's not going to be canceled, Ed?
I don't know. Flights do get cancelled. There's a lot of flights, Chewy and EasyJet. They're cancelling them left, right, and centre right now. I'm not going to worry. I think it's a hunch that I've got. It's a hunch that the flights that are getting cancelled tend to be popular holiday destinations for places like Mallorca and somewhere places like that. Whereas Romania, it's not really a popular holiday destination. And I think I booked the flight over 2 weeks ago, and I haven't had any emails yet to say that they've changed the times, or they've got no emails. So at £36.50, I'm not going to worry about it too much. But I have booked my first night's hotel in Bucharest. I think Romania is one of the better value countries in Europe. In Europe, and bearing in mind that Bucharest is the capital, I've got a nice double room in a nice hotel about a mile away from the city centre, and it's about £30 a night. That is bloody good value. That's excellent value for the capital city. Let's see. So I'm looking forward to it. Rusty Lid, some of the small guest houses are quirky and fun. Yeah, I agree, Rusty Lid. I agree.
My attitude's always been, you can stay in a Hilton anywhere in the world and not know where the hell you are. Yeah, it's always better to stay in something drab and local.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've stayed in many, nice big hotels, which is just not. At the end of the day, it comes down to the same as when I, review a restaurant meal. You either like it or you don't like it. It could be a hamburger, or it could be a nice big steak. You either like it or you don't like. And in terms of anything, I don't always believe the adage that you get what you pay for. That's not always the case. I've spent over the odds in some hotels and thought, I wish I hadn't stayed here. But I'd try and get the medium hotel. Let's see, Kevin at Innes. World Cup starts in November, so Thailand will be rocking with footy fans. Does that mean anything to you, David?
No, I don't follow the footy.
I don't really follow it. In November, rocking with footy. I don't, to be honest with you. And I know it's a huge thing in England, but it's not really for me. Let's see now. Only in Thailand. Now in the Philippines, you must have had the booster jab to be considered fully maxed. Does anyone know if this is the same in Thailand?
No. Thailand does not require a booster yet.
I think it's I lose track about which are the easiest places to go to right now. Some say people have said for a while Cambodia is totally without restrictions, but I don't know. So the more I've read into it, there are restrictions. We'll see. At the end of the day, I'm not planning on going in Southeast Asia. I've just done 4 months there. I think I'll be. I think I'll be out that way towards the end of the year, but not before then. There are other places to go, and besides, this time of year, you can't beat European weather. Not in England. We have terrible weather here, but the rest of Europe, once you get to June, has fantastic weather. Let's see, anyone? Who's this? Cy London. Have you been to Bulgaria, Big Ed? Yeah, I've been to Bulgaria. I went there years ago, and Bulgarian girls are absolutely beautiful. It's a really nice country. But that was getting up for 20 years ago now, and it's a really nice country. I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind another visit there. So, anyone else got any questions for David while he's here? He's waiting to go out. He's waiting.
Let's get some Thailand questions going here.
Let's see. Anyone else? Let's just look at this one first of all. Check bound, Bucharest. When I worked there, the Hilton was double the price of all the other 4- and 5-star hotels. It was well known that the bar manager ran. Did he? So biz travelers would pay the premium. Okay. Thanks for that information, mate. Let's see. David Udon. Hi, Ed. I got a business class flight over to Bangkok with Gulf Air paid $15.86. Check for flights for my mate yesterday for July. They are so expensive. Well, don't we think, Dave, that it's the cost of fuel and it's the conflict, which we don't want to go into detail of, but isn't that why the rise in fuel? And that's why to me, that's obviously why flights are getting a lot more expensive right now. Yeah, here's a bit of information. Dave Bull, there's a little lane in Soho in London with a massage shop with only Romanian girls. Gorgeous and dirty. I love Romania. They're beautiful. Have you encountered many Romanian girls, David?
I have not been to Romania, but I've been to Russia and the Baltics and all those kinds of places. So I don't know how much different it is.
Romanian girls. I've encountered a few Romanian girls, and believe me, that country of Romania has a bit of a reputation as being dodgy and all the rest of it. The Romanian girls that I've encountered have been absolutely charming. They've been lovely, lovely girls. Not a problem with them. Let's see. Papa Falang. I caught the onion variant 2 weeks into my 4 weeks in Pats last month. Never had it before. I was very, very cautious, David. When the onion was rife, when I first arrived in Pattaya, everyone seemed to be getting it, and I met an awful lot of people, a lot of guys who told me the real horror story, that they tested positive in the wrong place and being dragged off to a hospital at an extortionate price. You can't underestimate that. We will look back on this in years to come and think that is truly dreadful, especially to someone who's gone on holiday to have that happen. But I was really paranoid about it, so I was actually deliberately avoiding. Deliberately avoiding packed bars, and round Soibakau there weren't many of them. And I was so paranoid. I was going into a couple of bars, and sitting away from other people wearing a mask. And as soon as anybody would recognize me, maybe a guy a few chairs away, say, "Oh, that's Eddie. You're off YouTube." As soon as they attempted to move a bit closer, I'd say, "Back." I was really paranoid about it. But I never got dragged off to a hospital. I managed to go a whole 4 months without, and the only quarantine that I did was the first night in Bangkok. So I think it worked. I was quite cautious.
Well, here's the difference with me. I haven't taken any precaution whatsoever.
Yeah.
I'm living it up, but next week I have to take a test to go home back to the States. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, do you have to have a PCR before you leave Thailand to go back to the States?
Yeah, unfortunately, the U.S. still requires a 24-hour test before departure. So it can be a rapid antigen or a PCR. So I'm going to do it in Bangkok.
Yeah. Rapid antigens. Will you do it there and then and get your results back?
Yeah, so here's the deal. I checked with a company, and they'll actually send a nurse to my hotel room. She'll come in, administer the test, wait for the result, and print me the certificate right there. 2,400 baht.
Well, that's better, isn't it? That's better. But it's for me. When I was leaving England to get on the plane to Thailand, that within 72 hours PCR was a bloody nightmare. That was the worst bit for me. That was the worst bit. I mean, because flying from England to Bangkok is stressful enough, but having that, trying to get that test, and people were saying to me in the comments when I made the video, why didn't you have it done a couple of days before that, boots the chemist or whatever? I flew out on the 3rd of January. Think about it. A couple of days before would have been either New Year's Eve or New Year's Day. Try and book in a chemist then. And it's difficult to book anything anyway here in England. So I had to have it done at the airport. But I'm glad I'd done it. I'm glad I got through it. And I always believe in the law of averages. If something gets off to a bad start, then the law of averages says that it's going to get better and better. My trip got off to a bad start, but it did get better, and I had 4 good months. So, I'm glad that I'd done it. Really glad that I'd done it. El Terrifico. What is it? Who's this? That's not a question. That's not a question for either of us, I don't think, David.
Well, I own my condo, so I don't know.
Dave owns his condo, and I've never stayed. I was like staying in hotels. I like a reception. I like a reception. Cats and good coffee. Big Dave, good stuff. I also trust my immune system. Jabs are the pussies. Okay.
Thank you.
Nicely said. Nicely said. John Quayle, no test required to enter Australia. Okay, well, that's good news, isn't it? No, whatever. Let's see. Who's this? Papa Falang. Oh, we've got 200 people in the chat now. It's daytime as well. This is pretty good, isn't it? Papa Falang. Wow, I hope you get back home okay, mate. Didn't know US still had that requirement.
Thank you. Yes, we still have that stupid requirement.
Yeah. Oh, it sounds easier doing it the way you're doing it, though. I mean, it does sound easier. I just wish you the best. I don't want to be negative, but there are some people who tested positive. I think another vlogger was flying. I do know people have been flying out and they tested positive on the day. So I just wish you the best of luck.
Thailand bound.
Yeah, that's right. He did. Yeah, he tested positive and it caused him a lot of inconvenience.
Yeah. I'm not too worried about it because they told me that even if that happens, I can come back to my condo and wait it out.
Yeah, that's better. Yeah, that's better. That's better. Farang Travels, Eddie is a live stream this year. I'm doing quite a lot of live streams these days. I have another channel, Steady Eddie Live, which is really it's monetized now. I've actually gone over 1,000 subscribers, and we've been having some good fun with the live stream. The other night, May the 31st, I did a whole show devoted to Clint Eastwood, 92 years old now. So we celebrated Clint Eastwood's birthday. And it was good because on that other channel, we will talk about things other than travel. I mean, don't forget, travel is one subject. It's good to have the freedom to talk about other things. So that really went down well. We had a bit of a good laugh there. Nick Ross. Why would anyone visit Australia? It's all deserts on the inside and nothing on the outside. I gave up my Aussie passport. Any Australians in the chat? I wouldn't necessarily. I think Nick Ross is joking there. He probably loves your country.
I disagree. I went to Australia a long time ago and I enjoyed it. Now, I've never been back, but, I thought it was fun.
Well, let me just say that Nick Ross, I like Nick Ross. He watches all of my videos and live streams. Let me just say that I went to Greece. He didn't like the videos I made. I went to various other places. He didn't like those videos. So if I went to Australia, I'm sure he wouldn't like my videos. But nice to hear from you, Nicholas, anyway. Here's a blunt question. Travis Davola, there's still plenty of freelancers on Beach Road?
Yes.
Well, that's a good answer. That is a direct, articulate answer. So thanks for that anyway. It's good anyway. Let's see. Patriots won. I look Romanian beach town, Constanta. You can find lots of hotels, 10 to 30 euros. Price range near the beach. I also, Constanta looks like a good, it's on the Black Sea. I also looked at that, and I looked at some of the hotels, and they didn't look that much different than the capital city. But I hope you're right, mate. I'm looking forward to Romania, Dave. I really, really am looking forward to it. I really
Sounds
hope
fun.
Yeah, because they European countries like Romania, their climate is far more reliable than what we have in the UK. In Britain, there's only one rule with the weather: you get what you're given. You can get as much rain in the summer as you can in the winter, absolutely. But other countries, their climate is far more reliable than ours. Farang Travels, I enjoyed the Clint Eastwood live stream. Yeah, I enjoyed doing it. That was good fun. That. Do you like Clint Eastwood, Dave?
I'm not against him, but I'm not a diehard follower of him.
I have been since I've been 14 years of age. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Who's this? Nick Ross. Nice to see you doing good on your YouTube vids. Thank you, Nick Ross. Nice to hear from you. What's this? John Quell. Wow, Nick Ross. So many Pommies leaving to go somewhere better, mostly Australia. Do you know something? A while ago, some years ago, if you were to ask the average man, I sort of, worked a little bit, you could say, in the travel industry for a brief while. And if you was to ask many British people, if you could go to one country in the world on holiday, absolutely anywhere in the world, where would you choose to go? And the top answer really significantly would be Australia. And that was the answer. I think what it is, because it was as far away from England as you could get. And also people assumed, rightly or wrongly, that it's always sunny in Australia. I don't think that's the case, but people sort of have that assumption. And besides, we've got lots of great Australian people in the chat. So I like Australian people. I met some really, really good Australian people.
All right. I'm throwing the 5-minute warning in now.
He's five. David is off in 5 minutes' time, right? Because it's 5 to 8 in Pattaya right now, and he's got some serious work to do. There's some serious drinking and serious having fun time to be doing. I don't blame you. Well, you've given us really great information, Dave, on Phuket. Honestly, we all want blunt. I mean, sometimes when I'm blunt with my opinions, some people get upset. I was kind of blunt when I first went to Pattaya and said that it's not really worth visiting at that moment in time. But the fact is, you have made me realize I made the wise decision not going to Phuket, really.
Well, you were here at a different time, Ed. I mean, it's now June. I mean, this is a completely different time than January.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah. I mean, Pattaya definitely got better because I stayed in Pattaya for the last maybe 5 or 6 days before I left Thailand. And yeah, it had got a lot better. It was a lot more fun. There were a few go-go bars open. And it was certainly a lot more fun. So, I'm sure it's better now. Here's a question I've been meaning to ask you, Dave. Do you think, as a lot of people are assuming, that there will be the masses will be returning to Thailand right now? June, July.
It's not going to be instantaneous, but there's already been a large uptick since May 1, since the requirements have been dropped.
Yeah.
But I think every month's going to be more and more. So I think by the next high season, it's going to be pretty serious.
Yeah. I would have said that. I mean, but what I would have said is that I know a lot of people predicting that people are going to be flooding back to Thailand. But I would have thought people don't normally go to Thailand this time of year, really, during the rainy season. They do wait for the next season. Some people, like yourself, will have gone out to Thailand. Other people will have work commitments where they'll think, no, I'd love to get back out there, but let's leave it till the next peak season, which will be in November. I think the masses will return, but I think it'll be in November, December. I think there may be a few extra people, right now, but not the masses really. Rusty Lid, best not to risk travel requirements and high prices on flights. Just live in Pattaya permanently. Yeah, Rusty Lid's an American. I've met Rusty Lid. Nice to hear from him. Another comment from Nick Ross. You're going to love the Romanian chicks. Thick black hair, top and bottom, full of passion. Don't forget the Black Forest and flags, please. Okay, thank you. I'm hoping that Nick Ross is going to really like my Romanian vids. Okay, so let's see now. Papa Falang, thanks for coming on, Dave. Have a great night. Absolutely, Dave. So you won people
Thank
over
you.
here. El Terrifico. That's not the same El Terrifico. That's not the one who usually comes on. Thailand finished 25 years. I don't think that's the same. El Terrifico.
I wouldn't say 25 years ago, but it certainly has gone down quite a bit in the last 15.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Have a leg in town. I'm traveling tomorrow. Very easy to get Thailand pass. Don't think it will be crazy busy. No Russians or Chinese. Okay.
No, there's no Chinese here pretty much at all, and the only Russians that are here are the ones that live here.
Let's see. Yogi Bear, people are not booking long haul holidays. They not got the money. Well, Dave has. Dave's having the time of his life out there.
Well, I'm rich, so
good for you, mate. Wish I was. Pacey is just one. If inflation goes up, it's like doing Thailand will have less tourists next peak season. Okay. El Terrifico, Thailand was suffering tourism before the COVID. It'll never recover. Listen, if I've missed anybody out in this chat, sometimes this chat jumps. So big apologies, because I'm sure some people made some really, really good comments. You're really, really good comments, but sometimes last night we had a hot topic subject last night, Dave. We had the subject of airport chaos, which was seen in the news, and also the idea of flights going, and the chat was just going crazy and crazy. There was so many people in the chat that I simply couldn't keep up with it. Okay, one last question then. What last question? Cats and Good Coffee. Eddie, I had a question for Big Dave, and you missed it twice. Okay, finally then, what is the question? Cats and Good Coffee is pretty good.
Fire it off.
Fired it off. Let's see, fired it off. We're not hearing it. Cats and Good Cafe. We've got John Quayle. John Quayle, no Chinese or Russians in the Trang Vietnam. I did meet a Ukrainian, though. Nick Ross, Indonesia has some good places, especially in Sulawesi, Plata del Cruz, and Venezuela. Okay, yeah, okay. I looked at Indonesia, and the flights there were very, very. Roy Gold, I've heard there are many freelancers on the road going into Constanta. Oh, good to hear that, mate. Anyway, listen, Dave, it's past your getting out and enjoying yourself time. I'm sure you. Where are you heading tonight? Anyway, not explicitly tell us, but
I'm gonna go down and check out Walking Street, because, like I said, this is the first night where everything's officially allowed to be open. I want to see the difference.
Yeah, I went to Walking Street, just before I left, and it looked quiet, but because there were less people around, it's difficult for me to film anything. I with my mobile phone, I kind of zoomed in, and then somebody dumb and everything zoomed right back at me and whatever. I felt very, very nervous about that. Very nervous. Listen, Dave, I'll say thanks for coming on. It's been great having you here. Maybe you'll appear on another stream one night, because you'll be back in America soon. on a better time zone. But although we've done well today, 200 people in the chat, that's not bad for a Thursday afternoon in the UK. Anyway,
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll say,
you need me.
Okay, I'll say thanks for coming on, Dave. Have a great night tonight. Don't drink too much. Have fun and all the rest of it. Okay. I'll see you soon, buddy. Okay. Cheers. Okay, so there you go. That's Dave. Dave R telling us about Thailand, boots on the ground, and I thought that was really interesting what he said about Phuket. Really interesting, because Phuket all along has divided people. Some say it's great, get down there. Others say it's dead as a dodo. Dave's just been there. He was there for 5 days and basically said it's at this moment in time, Phuket is not really worth visiting. So I'll take his word for it. I'll say take Dave's word for it. And basically, I think I made a wise decision personally, not going to Phuket, because I'd already done plenty of islands. I had me fun. I got one more island wasn't really necessary. And like you say, I think Phuket sounds not a good idea to me anyway. Let's see. Checkbound. Thank you, Dave. Have a great and safe evening. Don't talk to any strange women. I'm sure he won't. Cats and Good Coffee. Third time I asked the question and ignored. I want to speak to the manager of this channel. You are speaking to the manager. El Terrifico. Farang Travels. Yogi is starting. General fact, whatever. I'm not sure. Is that the El Terrifico who usually appears in this chat? I'm not quite sure. Listen, guys. Thanks for tuning in today. Anyway, a big. Right. Yeah. Whatever. Mark Hanley. My comment got ignored as well. Well, what it is, Mark. What it is, Mark. Apologies that, but when I'm talking to a guest, it's not the same, and it's down to me. I have to pay attention to the chat, and I have to pay attention to everything. And it's not always that easy. This was a nice little laid back stream, a little additional stream, for people, and it was good to have Dave on, because like you say, he's in Thailand right now. And he's able to give us some boots on the ground information. So a big thanks to Dave for coming on today. Anyway, I'll just give this another couple of minutes. Rusty Lead. Some tour buses are back on Second Road. Mostly tourists from South Asia, India, Pakistan. Do you know something? Second Road in Pattaya. It seems to me that is one area that's really, really, really quite depressing. I mean, Beach Road and Soiba Cow are both quite lively, but when you go to Second Road, I mean, I thought that was really, really played out there, really played out. Let's see. El Terrifico, Fatty Eddie. Okay, I don't think that's the I don't think that's the real. I don't think that's the real El Terrifico. I think it's a different one. Okay, Cats and Good Coffee. It's all good, Eddie. We love you. Okay. Farang Travels, always appreciated guest. It was nice to have David on anyway. I'm still learning how to send a link through Facebook. It's bloody awkward, it is, but it was difficult getting him on anyway, but he's finally here now. Listen, guys, I'm going to wrap this one up. It's been an hour. It's been an extra hour anyway, because we've done a live stream last night. I'll say have a great day anyway. Thanks for tuning in. I hope this has been informative for you. It has been for me. And I'll be back pretty soon. Not sure when the next live stream or the next video will be, but I'll be back pretty soon anyway, okay? So listen, guys, have a great day, a great evening at whatever you're doing, and I'll see you soon. Cheers.